Episode of Rupkatha, and if you have been regular followers of this channel, you will know that unfailingly on Saturday mornings we come to you with this particular program, and just like every week, we have with us a student here with us today. Currently, we have Debojoty, and Debojoty, like all the other guests on this program, has achieved a significant amount of success early on in their professional career. And Debojyoti is someone, I was just chatting with him before the show, and we were just exchanging notes. And he was telling me about what he liked to do, about his journey, and how he used to travel every day to come to college from a little far away. And so Debojyoti is a student of ECE, and Debojyoti has managed to get the post of associate software engineer at Sasken which is a company which is part of the electronics and automobile industry, which is a sector which is rapidly growing, and as we all know, it will probably affect the Indian market in a big way in the months and years to come. So Debojyoti, welcome to our show, and thank you for joining us today. So I'll get straight to it. You have been a student here for, I think, 4 years now?
Yes, sir.
So, in this 4 years, you have been a student and you've come into this campus and you've studied, you've taken exams, you've met with your friends. But today, you come here as a guest for the university. So, can you tell me a little as to how does it feel to come as a guest to a place where you were as a student for the past few years? How does it feel?
First of all, good morning to all the viewers who are watching this show. And it's a wonderful feeling to come back to a place where I have spent 4 years of wonderful journey here. I I thoroughly love this place. It has been a wonderful place for me. I miss all the moments which I have cherished here, and it's a wonderful feeling to be back here
Right, I
as a
see.
guest.
As you can see, Debojyoti is probably a little nervous. I don't think he's used to his newfound success yet. So, where he was a student once, now he is a guest. So, let's go back to the beginning of your journey. I was talking to Debojyoti, and he told me that he studied ECE. So, can you tell me, is ECE something that you always knew you wanted to study, or is ECE something that just happened to you? You didn't choose it, but like the river of life led you around a particular bend, and then you chose ECE. Which one was it?
So let's recall. I want to say something here that during my class 12 journey, my exams, I prepared hard for joint entrance exam, but I couldn't crack or I couldn't get CSE branch.
Mm-hmm.
So I had to go for electronics, and that is how I come across this stream. I always wanted to be a computer science student, but so
I see. This is something I think we can fruitfully talk about, which is that a lot of students nowadays, and I'm sure there are many who are watching this currently or who will be watching it once it is there on our social media. The trend nowadays is that everyone comes to university and you ask them, so what stream do you want to study? Everyone says CSE. But I'll give you one example. So, have you heard of the gold rush? The gold rush happened in Australia, where everybody started to go to Australia to find gold because they thought they would find gold. But the story is the person who made the most money during the gold rush was the person who used to sell shovels, which is something they used to dig for gold. So, I wanted to say this craze with computer science. Ultimately, computer science, it depends upon the hardware. It depends upon the electronics. I'll give you an example. The company which has made a remarkable gain currently is, for example, NVIDIA. Have you heard of NVIDIA?
yes.
Right? And NVIDIA is focused on the hardware. NVIDIA is focused on the electronic
Chips.
components and chips and all of
Yes,
that.
yes.
So, what is your opinion of this? Like this craze of computer science, is it fair to say that it is only in computer science that the future holds bright prospects, or do you think there are other allied fields that maybe students are not paying so much attention to? What do you think?
So let's see what our Indian market is all about.
Mm.
Uh, until now, there has been much progress. I would say rather not a lot about the progress happened in the electronics field, that is in the semiconductor industry. We have made progress, but that is not enough up to the international market. So our software field is where the students are going, and there has been a lot of opportunity there. So that's why you can see the craze among the Indian students to go for the CSE branch rather than the electronics branch, because the market or the job availability in the electronics industry for the Indian market is not that much.
Right, I see. But on a global scale, it is undeniable that even if, like the craze in CSE, as Debojyoty rightly said, that maybe in the Indian scene it is not too much, but I think there are a lot of disciplines and domains that CSE is reliant upon. That with the growth of CEC, you see that as well. So I think it's important for students to be aware of this when they make their career choice. So EC happened to you. Let's put it that way.
Yes.
EC is something that happened to you. So that once you came to university, were you part of the COVID batches? Those unfortunate people.
Yes. Our batch was unfortunately the COVID batch. We have to spend 2 years of online class.
Mm.
We couldn't spend the valuable moments here in the university. We
Right.
couldn't attend the lectures here physically. It was very stressful moment.
Right.
The waking up at 8 a.m., joining classes online, giving attendance in sleepy mood.
Hmm. I think waking up at 8 a.m. is possibly the most difficult thing one
Yes.
has to do as a student. So I wanted to ask you, because there is a certain, I wouldn't say craze, but there is a certain attitude now that doing classes or learning things online is as good as physically coming to class. I'll give you an example. A lot of people do Coursera certifications. People do certifications offered by Microsoft, like, or Google or Azure or this or that. So I wanted to ask you, since you are someone who has experienced both, you have experienced doing classes in your pajamas sitting in bed with your camera off, and you've also experienced doing classes physically here at university. According to you, what is the main difference between the two experiences, or is there a difference at all? That's also a question. What do you think?
According to me, there is a huge difference between the
Okay.
online class and the offline class.
Right.
One thing is the attention towards the class. That is the main thing. See, if I'm doing offline class, and suppose for example I'm taking one subject, like in our second sem we had a subject called programming through C and data structures.
Mm-hmm.
So as I had computer science background, means I had subject computer science during my school days.
Mm-hmm.
So I was accustomed to it, but many of my friends weren't accustomed to subjects like programming. So it was very hard for them to get used to that subjects, as it is very essential for our placement journey too.
Hmm.
So that's one difference. If that class has been would have occurred in physical mode, then it would have been much more helpful for us. I still think like that.
Right. I think he says something important here, that even though the trend nowadays is to treat online educational courses like MOOCs, or as they are called, massive open online courses, the government is pushing for them, private players are pushing for them. But I think I follow him here, that they're not as effective as physically being in front of a teacher. The question of attention, which is so important. If you're going to do a class on a screen, it's very easy to do something else on that screen when the class is going on, right?
That's the right point.
So, and as it is, even in physical classes, it's difficult to keep the screen away from your face. So, I think he makes an important point here. But to move on to other things, so when you first came to, so am I right in thinking that you did not even see the university till your third year?
Actually, I came to university during admission time and then straight away to the third year. Not third year, I mean the middle part or portion during the fifth sem,
Right.
I'd rather say. So fifth sem where the classes were officially starting,
Mm-hmm.
and after gap of 2 years we came to university.
And tell our viewers a little, how did it feel physically coming to university as opposed to waking up in your bedroom and putting on the laptop? Did it feel different? Did you feel
Yes,
excited?
yes, it did feel different because I was not accustomed to such a big the environment like that,
Mm-hmm.
and such a huge campus.
Mm-hmm.
So 1 to 2 weeks, I mean, the craze was on a different level. That going to university for the first time, spending moments with my batchmates,
Mm.
and bunking classes.
I think the pathetic thing about online mode is probably even bunking classes is not that fun, because you simply walk out of the room.
Yes.
You switch off your camera. But if you're physically at university, then bunking classes requires a coordination. It requires planning. You know that, oh, আমরা এখানে যাব না, আমরা এখন এখানে পালিয়ে যাব. So I think
Hmm.
this is important for a student's personal growth. And to move on, I would like to ask you that, would you say that the environment, the physical environment that you got once you came to university, do you think that influenced you as how you grew as a person, interacting with your friends, interacting physically with your professors, seeing seniors, talking to them? Would you say this is an important part of your journey, or would you say that no, actually, whatever I have achieved, it is because of who I am as an individual? What would you say to that?
I would say it had a huge impact on me
Right.
coming to the university for the offline classes. That I, for the first third year, I didn't know who our seniors were. I didn't even see their faces too.
Mm-hmm.
Then suddenly they came, they took intro of us, then we exchanged words, some valuable moments they shared, like you have to do this, that for placements. Your placement will be starting from third year only. You have to do preparations, hard work.
Mm.
Like many companies will not come on campus. You have to try
Mm.
checking the off campus too.
Mm.
So
I
it's like that
think
way.
I think what he says is so important here, because these kinds of information exchanges, they are so valuable for the professional growth of a student, and they don't always happen if you just attend classes online. And this idea of a community, a kind of shared growth, where people who are more experienced look out for their juniors, tell them something that, okay, you know what, here you are in life, but in a few years you must be ready, you must do this, you must do that. This is probably an invaluable part of the college experience here at Techno India University, and we always feel a student should be given the right environment to grow in. And speaking of environment, I would like to ask, so can you tell me a bit about your home? Did you travel every day to university, or did you stay nearby in a PG or hostel?
So I used to travel every day. It was hectic because of the crowd, and I usually prefer local transport, means the public transport.
Mm.
The trains are so much crowded during the office hours.
Mm.
It has been a hell lot of journey, and I so our classes were mainly from afternoon, that is 12:45, and usually gets over at 6 p.m.
Mm.
So coming to the college, it was not a problem because 12 p.m. the trains were, means they are not so much crowded. But going back to home,
Mm.
it was a hell lot of journey. I mean, if you can survive in that, it's what to say.
You will
Sort
survive
of.
anything.
Yes,
Mm.
so much crowd means if you are late by 5 minutes and the second train arrives, you you will see how much crowd it carries.
So, Techno University is so pedagogical. Even the journey home from Techno University is also educational, because, as he says, if you can go home via that train, then you will survive anything in life. So, to go on, can you tell me a little bit about, let's say, who lives with you at home? How was your, for example, mother or father or brother's reaction once they got to know that, okay, my family member has made it through to a job? How was their reaction?
So first of all, they didn't knew much about this placement journey.
Okay.
Okay, so my father is a government employee. He always pushes me to sit for government exams, but
Even now?
yes, even now. But I was turned through that I will crack software engineering job. I had my aim from class 12, class 11 onwards, that I had to go to this field, and it's my passion to do coding. So I even tell father that I have cracked, but he constantly tell me to appear for government job or sit for it. And yes, my father is happy, but he still pushes. My mother is happy, and all my family members, my grandparents, they were still happy.
Hmm. I think this is the story of every Indian household. I think even if you are 45 years old, your parents will still tell you, what are you doing in life? Go get a government job. Because
Yes.
I think to the Indian middle class, probably a government job is the only form of solid experience in life that there exists. And probably it has got something to do with the marriage market. I'm not very
Yes,
sure. What do you think?
it has to, but I I don't think much about that.
I see. Debojoty is a good boy. He does not think about the marriage market. So, to go on, can you tell me a little bit? Are your parents watching us today? What do you think?
I don't know. They don't know much about technology, I think. So
So, judging from what you say, your home is not one that, let's say, is very well versed with the latest technology, right? Or they are not
yes,
so much aware of it. So, how did you get into programming or wanting to do this? It couldn't have come from your home. Did it come from some other external influence? Where did
yes.
this fire come from? That না বাবা বলছে সরকারি চাকরি করতে কিন্তু আমি প্রোগ্রামার হয়ে দেখাবো. Where did this come from?
So it usually came from my tuition teacher who I used to took classes during my 11-12 journey.
Mm-hmm.
That is my ISC period. So that teacher influenced me to become a coder.
Mm-hmm.
He had done hard work for me, and both of us, I mean, we were a batch of 18 to 20 students, and maximum of us are now software engineers.
Right.
So it the influence really came from him,
Right.
I would say.
I think what he says is so touching and so extraordinary. I think this is the magic of being a teacher or an educator, that you don't really know how you influence your students. And judging by his story, that he had a tuition teacher who used to teach a batch of 18 to 20 people, and he says almost all of them are coders in some way. I think this is really the magic of teaching. You don't know how you touch a young life so briefly, but the influence stays on and on. So, did you tell, excuse me, are you still in touch with this tuition teacher?
Yes, I am still in touch. I generally call him or text him in a week, and we are still in touch. I told him that I got a job, and he was very happy.
That's what
very
I was
happy.
going to ask. What was his reaction when he found out?
He was very happy because our placement started in 2023, and I got job offer in 2024. So 1 years of hard work, and he's pushed me that you can do it. If others can do it, you can do it too.
Right. What he says just goes so well with what we say on this show, that a student needs the right environment, whether it is home, at university, it could be at a tuition, among friends. If you don't have someone to push you, someone to inspire you, it's difficult to perhaps give your best. So, to take the conversation somewhere else a little, we were talking about this before the show began. What are your hobbies outside studying?
I am an ardent cricket fan. I love traveling. I am also a content creator. I create content for my blog. So it's my passion to do it. I generally travel a lot. A lot
Right.
means a lot.
A lot
Generally
means a lot.
I generally do 2 to 3 long trips in a year, and 1 to 2 short trips.
Do you go solo, with a group, with a friend? How do you do
No,
it?
I go with my family only.
Right.
My parents did not allow or will not allow me for solo.
I think that will soon change once he starts his job. I think that might change a little. So, what is it about traveling that you like so much? Does it refresh you? Do you simply like being there? Is it something else? What is it that attracts you about travel?
So traveling, as we all know, traveling is a part of education also, and traveling teaches you a lot. It has impacted my life a lot of being a good human being, and to get accustomed with different cultures, different environment. Like if you go up through the west, like in the Rajasthan, huge hot humid climate there. How are they surviving in those 50 degrees Celsius in the desert with shortage of water? how they're living. And here down in Kolkata, you are having humid climate, but not that hot.
Hmm.
It's very humid. So difference in temperature and the different environment teaches you a lot.
Right. I think it's interesting that he says even travel is educational. There is something to learn everywhere. So, if I may ask you, what is your most favorite travel experience?
Favorite travel experience, I would say up to the northeast, that is Doers. It's a wonderful place. Everyone must visit during monsoon or during the winter time.
Mm-hmm.
It's jam packed out there. So
Right.
Doers means the jungle, hilly areas,
Mm.
and the rivers, the rough terrain.
Mm-hmm.
It's very beautiful and serene out.
It's always nice to see a young boy like him who's definitely got a passion for academics to also have such strong hobbies. I think it's a feature of the younger generation that they have so many interests like this. So, can you tell me a little at university? Did you have any such social interactions? It might be a club, it might be a group of friends, or whatever it might be that has helped you in a professional journey or something like that.
So during the start of third year, I was a part of our technical club, that is Vivarta,
Mm.
Takshila. Our We usually conduct technical events and some seminars, and it taught me a lot as a human being too, like how to manage events, how to maintain what to say, the right attitude towards people.
Hmm. So, how did you get to know about this technical club and how did you want to
So
join?
our seniors who were just passing out, they told me that there is a club known as Takshila who conducts technical
Mhm.
events like Vivarta throughout the year, not throughout the year, sorry, means once a year, that is during the period of May to June.
Hmm.
It's a 3-day event which usually happened in our college campus. It covers various technical
Hmm.
programs, or what to say, events, like we had 6 domains
Mm-hmm.
in the technical club: computing, gaming, robotics, various genre
Mm-hmm.
of domains. And it also had fun events too. So I was a part of computing domain.
Mm-hmm.
I We were a team of, not team, we were core members were about 6 to 7,
Mm-hmm.
and we worked on events like some normal events like coding,
Mm-hmm.
where the problems were given and you have to solve it online.
Right. So first you participated as someone who was a participant, and then did you become a part of this club? Did you also organize, as you were saying?
Yes, I didn't participate, but I didn't know in the second year that what was Vivarta.
Mm.
In third year, I directly entered it. They were conducting
Right, right.
interviews
I understand.
for the inductions of new inductees. So
Right.
that's how I got through it, and
Mm-hmm.
we managed the events very well,
Mm-hmm.
I would say.
Is it a club that focuses on events just within college, or is it an inter-college club as well? How does it work?
So our event is mainly happened in the college campus
Okay,
only,
okay.
but many colleges were informed to participate in this event too. They took participate
Mm-hmm.
in various domains, like in our domain too. They participated. There were students who came from Jadavpur University too.
Right, I see. And let's go on to something else, which is a lot of students will be curious who are watching this show that how is it that one really prepares for a placement process. You mentioned that it is 1 year of hard work, that it started in 23 and then it went on till 24. That's when you got a positive response.
Yes.
So let's take this process step by step. What is the first thing that you need to do to prepare for a placement process? Or rather, how did you prepare, whether it is mentally or did you get into a particular regimen or a habit? How did you prepare for this?
So not just only hard work, but you have to be mentally prepared for every possible situation. Like you can get rejection too after a lot of hard work. So our placement journey started in 2023.
Right.
That is in August, not August, sorry, June. So before June, that is after Feb 2023, we are informed that our placement would start from 2023 June, and it will go along with our curriculum too. That is the third year. So in order to manage both, that is, our field are totally different, not like the computer science people that okay, let's do programming, चलो GFG से कुछ क्वेश्चन उठा लेते हैं, बस प्रैक्टिस कर लेते हैं और हो जाता. Not like that. We have to prepare our curriculum subjects too, like core electronics subject. It's very hard, especially for us. And coming to the placement journey, I would say in order to prepare, first there are different kind of roles which companies usually come for on campus. One is software engineer, and its allies means I would say they come for a particular job profile, like web designer or a web developer, not only as software engineer. It's say it's near about same, but not that same, little bit different.
Right.
And some other roles were also would also come, like the sales and the business development associate. I didn't appear for that because I always had the aim to go for software engineer roles only. So I particularly appeared for those exams only. And so in that exams, what are the kind of topics they will ask? So first round will be the aptitude round,
Okay.
which we have to practice from different online resources available. And there were also classes conducted by our college, through CSD, like at aptitude classes or the code Java preparation through it. We usually attended those classes and it was helpful.
Tell me more about these classes. What did they comprise? What kind of training were you offered there?
So we had classes every Monday, Thursday about aptitude, where a sir would come. It was online class. We were pitching him for offline, but he didn't have time, so he usually conducted online only. It was very good class.
Is it part of your curriculum or is it placement specific?
It was placement specific,
Right. Go
arranged
on.
by our college only. The aptitude class were very useful. I attended those class for 2 to 3 months. I got a,
Oh, so it happened for 3 months. It's a long kind of.
long.
Okay.
And the aptitude classes were very useful. And the sir was very good too. He taught us in a way that we could solve it within seconds, like 10 to 30 seconds.
Wow. Amazing.
So, amazing. And aptitude is such a way that it will be very easy, but in order to solve it in an efficient way and in less time, that is the main aim. So SAT taught us that how to solve. Everyone can solve those questions. It was very easy. But how to solve in 90 minutes, like 60 questions, that is the main thing. And that will help you clear the aptitude round. Then you can go for your technical rounds. Then you will be shortlisted. So that's how the process was.
Right. And everyone used to come for these aptitude classes. It's not that it was an EC specific thing.
No. It was all throughout. Like all the batches would join. Eventually, there were a lot of batches. So what our college did was, a coordinator specifically, that she divided it like 3 batches Monday to Thursday, and other batches Tuesday or Wednesday, like that.
Right. I see.
So eventually more crowd means sir would not take much attention or not pay attention.
Of course.
So
So I must say, I think the coordinators probably had an instrumental role to play.
Yes.
In the success of all of those who successfully managed to clear the placement process. And so this is a kind of class where the college is preparing you specifically for getting through to a job over and above your curriculum. Did the college provide any other kind of classes or support, or was this the only thing? What was the other things?
Yes. So our CSG classes were also comprised of the English speaking skills, like the communication. Like many of us had a bit of communication gap, that how to communicate in interviews. and the resume classes, like how to prepare a good resume that will help you clear the resume round or shortlist you. And other classes like Java preparation, Python classes, they were really useful. But I mainly took the aptitude class. It was very useful, very
Right.
useful, very very. The sir was very good.
Right. I
It's
see.
happening now too, but I don't appear now.
Because you
I
have
don't.
already got a job. I see. So this must be happening for quite some time if it is still
Yes,
happening.
yes, it's
So
still happening.
when does it start? In the third year or?
In the third year, in the beginning of third year, like they told, coordinators told us that you will have special aptitude classes for your preparation
Right.
and other subjects too.
I think it just goes on to show that at Techno India University, it's not just about what is there in your syllabus, but it's also the question of making students, let's say, make the transition from, as they say nowadays, from classroom to boardroom, or from an academic space to an industry space, because a lot of the times the skills required or the kind of attention required is not the same thing. As you said so nicely, in this first aptitude rounds, what they are looking for is efficiency. It's not just a question of how much you know, but whether you can do it quickly. And I think it's important to give students these kinds of training classes, without which sometimes they can be at sea as to how to really go for it. So tell me something, this was part of your on-campus placement process, Saskia, or did you get through it off-campus? How did it happen?
So it was on campus opportunity.
Right.
I forgot the date, like when the forms were announced. I mean the placement sale. I forgot the date. It might be probably in the December or January period. Not January, November or December, in the winter season. And they, I mean, we had a placement group where the placement coordinators were there, and they shared the form that you can fill this. It's a good opportunity. You can sit for this exam. So I didn't know that I will get shortlisted for this. So
And what was the process? Did they also have an aptitude at the beginning and then
Yes.
it? Okay.
So coming to the procedure, first there was a pre-placement talk of about 15 to 20 minutes where they gave the briefing about what the company is all about, what are the projects they are doing, and what is the role they are asking for us, and what they're expecting from the engineers they will do. So after that there was aptitude round for about 1 hour 30 minutes or roughly 1 hour 30 minutes, where there was questions related to general maths, reasoning, and 2 questions related to coding, in which you have to solve one, and then you can go through or you can clear the aptitude round. You will be shortlisted for the next technical round.
Okay.
So first they conducted the aptitude round and told us that you can only appear either for C++ or Java. So they were language specific exams. Like many people opted for C++ among me, and others opted for Java.
Okay.
So I took C++ as my primary language, and I had my aptitude and coding round in that only. So after that they told them wait for 1 hour, the results will come. So we were patiently waiting, like what will be the outcome of the aptitude round. So after 1 hour they informed that I was selected along with some 20 other students from different Techno India colleges.
Okay.
Not 20, I will say more than 20, 30, 35.
Okay.
Out of which 10 to 15 were C++ and others were Java students. So there were 2 technical rounds, I would say. First technical round, they primarily focused on my core background, that is the electronic subjects. How will I do, how am I accustomed to it. I told them that they first asked me some basic questions related to electronics. I answered them. They cross questioned it. I also answered those questions too. They were basic questions, and after that I told them ki sir, please focus on coding also. So sir told okay, let's focus, do some coding work now. He gave me a question. It was very easy. I solved it within 5 minutes.
I
Uh,
see. How did you feel when you solved it in 5 minutes? Did you feel very confident?
Not very confident because I had been solving problems like that in my school level too. They were very easy, and that is in I have solved that like problems in class 11, 12 too.
I see. I see.
And so sir cross questioned me about that, how to like some how to approach a coding interview is like, first sir will give you a question interview,
Mm-hmm.
then you will solve it,
Okay.
and you have to solve in brute force. Then sir will ask for how you can improve it, like the time complexity. So I told him like I can do this or that. So told me to write that code also.
Mm.
I wrote that code too, and he was impressed with it. And he told me that you are good at coding, but you should also focus at mm, electronics part too, because that is your main subject. I
Mm-hmm.
told sir, okay, I will work on it. So after that, teacher came, means a placement sir came and coordinator, and he told me to go for second round.
Mm-hmm.
Second round was basically a resume round where sir interview focused on my resume, and he asked questions regarding it. It was 30 to 35 minutes round. The first round was about 45 to 1 hour, and second round was 30 to 35 minutes.
That's very long. Right.
Yes,
Mm.
and second round was not that long. It
Mm.
was short according to the first round. Sir immediately asked me, what are your hobbies, and like that he asked me, where do you live. It
Mm.
was not much of a technical round. It was more of an HR and mixture of technical and both HR round. Sir, he took my resume, and he asked questions regarding my resume and my projects. I showed him my projects too. Sir was impressed with it. Sir told me ki write a code for this. I also wrote it within 5 to 10 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
And actually the questions which sir asked was very basic.
Mm-hmm.
Means a basic which a student should know. So it was not tough. And sir was impressed about it, and he told me that we will let you know about the HR round. So HR was not a offline round. It was conducted 2 to 3 days after the technical round in
Mm-hmm.
of online mode. So ma'am, my HR round was roughly around 5 to 10 minutes,
Mm-hmm.
and out of those 30 to 40 students, only 7 students were shortlisted for HR round.
Okay.
And in my college, means TIU, only 2 of us were shortlisted. That is one from EC and one from CSE.
Okay.
We both gave our HR round. HR asked me basic questions like why this company, why Sasken. I gave her answer.
Mm.
Then she asked, what are your strengths, what are your hobbies, will you be um, what are your goals, short term, long term goals. Basic HR questions she asked, and it took around 5 to 10 minutes. Then she told me that we will let you know. Then after that is so this happened in February.
Mm-hmm.
So after Saraswati Puja, that is the day after Saraswati Puja, I got to know that I am shortlisted and I am selected
Right.
along with that other student.
Very auspicious. So, if I were to ask you, if you were to give a message to future generations or younger batches, what would you ask them to focus on? That before you enter into this process, which sounds very, very difficult and very, very stressful,
Yes, it's very
uh,
hectic.
what would you tell them? Listen, you must do this very well before you get into this. Is there anything like that you would ask them to focus on?
So in order to be let's say good at the subjects, I would first say that you have to be mentally prepared. Like rejections can come even if you do your hard work, and you have to practice day and day a lot. You, even if you don't face or what say success, I'd say.
Right. I see. And what for you was the most challenging part about all of this? Because there is a aptitude round, there is speaking round, HR round, programming, technical rounds. What for you was the most challenging, and you think you really had to
challenge yourself to get through it? What would you say was the most challenging for you?
The mental strength was the most challenging part. It took around 8 to 10 days, and 8 to 10 days I couldn't focus on other activities.
Mm-hmm.
Like actually, I was preparing for other companies too,
Mm-hmm.
but I couldn't focus at all. I was thinking whether I will be selected or not, what will be the outcome, how will I handle it, because first time I came across so far, so near of grabbing that opportunity.
Mm.
Because earlier I used to sit for aptitude placement exams. I generally get rejected or didn't clear the aptitude round. Once I cleared the aptitude round for a company, the company told we will not take interviews now, we will schedule it later. So it did heartbreak me a lot, but I knew that once opportunity will come, I will succeed.
And to ask you something from the opposite side, when you didn't achieve success, when you had rejections and this and that, what helped you get through it? Was it your friends? Was it something else? Was it travel? How does one deal with, let's call a spade a spade. How does one deal with failure? What do you think?
So I had a good peer group. I usually call my friend. I called her that like I am not selected. So she always pushed me that no, good opportunities will come. Many more companies will come later in 2024. You will get through it. So she actually helped me a lot during the whole interview, during the whole placement days.
Right. I see.
She helped me a lot, I would say.
Right. And so is your friend watching this now? What do you think?
I don't know.
Maybe. So I would like to ask you, even if your parents or well-wishers or friends, they might not be watching it now, but I'm quite certain that they will watch it once you get back home and tell them, you know what, I had an interview at my university. Is there a message that you would like to give your parents or well-wishers?
I would thank them from the bottom of my heart to continuously support me, even though I had faced a lot of failure during my days preparing for different placement opportunities. They really helped me, motivated me. They they were well wishers, my parents, my friends, my batchmates, all of them. They helped me a lot. They gave me confidence that you can do it. We have faith in you.
I think that is a very good note to bring this program to a close. I think I like talking to Debojoty because I think he's a very no-nonsense person. He's not afraid to say that, you know what, I experienced rejection, failure, even though I worked hard. But the important thing is to take it in your stride, go on, and then hope for something better. I think talking to Debojoty teaches me at least that don't take your failures too seriously, because success might just be around the corner. So thank you, Debojoty, so much for joining us here today and sharing your valuable experiences with us all. It has been great talking to you, as I am sure the students who are watching this program now or who will watch it later on, you will have much to learn from all that he has talked about today. With that, I bring our program to a close. Please stay tuned. We have a program for you every week, and if you come back next week, I'm sure we will have something interesting for you to see and watch. So thank you everyone for joining us. Bye bye. Have a nice day and a nice weekend.